Hare Krishna. My name is B.B. Govinda Swami. It's very important for all the members of the Krishna consciousness movement to participate in Harinama Sankirtana. I think that if we look at our lives, we'll understand that we, as aspiring devotees of Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, are following this process because we met devotees who were spreading the holy names of Lord Krishna and giving the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Myself, I had the fortune of meeting the devotees at a pop music festival 40 years ago. I was 20 years old. I had been reading books on yoga. I knew the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, hearing the mantra from impersonalists. I chanted the Maha Mantra, but nothing had happened. And on the way to this music festival, I was praying, God, please let me meet a Hare Krishna when I arrive at the festival. So we arrived, and I was walking through a forest, and at the end of the forest I saw one lone person standing, and I walked up, and it was a devotee. And he looked at me, and he pointed his finger, and he said, please chant Hare Krishna and take Krishna Prasadam. So I said, yes sir, where do I go? Then he pointed me to the direction of the devotees, and it was just sunset, and there was a circle of people who were participating in kirtan, and I pushed my way through the crowd, and I looked inside, and I saw Vaishnavas sitting there. And this was in 1971. Krishna consciousness movement hadn't spread so much in America. There were the girls in saris and boys with shaved heads and dhotis, and lots of incense burning. And one devotee was sitting with a harmonium, and he was very gently but very beautifully chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And since I knew the mantra, I just caught his melody, and I began to sing in the association of Vaishnavas. And when I did that, I had I guess what you would call the spiritual experience that many people speak about. I felt transcendental joy. Tears came to my eyes, and my mind that was always giving me so many problems became absolutely peaceful. And when the mind started functioning again, my first thought was, what I just chanted must be God, because nothing has ever been so powerful as to control my mind in that way. So truly my life is insignificant, but value has been given to my life by coming in contact with the holy name of Lord Krishna and the devotees who are spreading Sri Krishna's holy names. So my hearty recommendation to all the members of the Krishna Consciousness Society is to try to go on Harinam, try to participate in kirtan programs, and try to share the knowledge of Krishna consciousness with others. And many times people, they see me sitting in kirtan, and I think most of the time, if I'm not, clapping my hands and trying to encourage the devotees, you'll see that I have my eyes tightly shut, because I want to focus my mind on the sound of Lord Krishna's holy names. And while chanting, my prayer is that that holy name of Krishna will not only purify my heart of all of the bad desires within my heart, but it will purify the hearts of the hearers, and it will purify the hearts of all the living beings within this world, and that by giving pleasure to Lord Krishna, he will bless us and he will award us the great gift of his pure devotional service. So thank you very much, and we'd like to once again request everybody, please engage in Harinam Sankirtan. Hare Krishna. I mentioned earlier that I met the devotees at a music festival, and I chanted Harinam with them, and I felt spiritual ecstasy. Well, when the music festival was finished, I didn't know what to do, and I traveled to Rochester, New York, to meet one friend that I'd met at the music festival. And one day when we were coming in from that person's house, we were riding on the bus into the city, I looked out on the street, and I looked on the street, the devotees from Buffalo, New York were standing on the street and performing Harinam. So I immediately reached up, and there was the red chain on the bus that no one's supposed to pull. And I pulled the red chain, the bus came to a halt, doors open, I jumped off, I ran, just got in line with the devotees, and I started chanting Hare Krishna. And I had that spiritual experience again, that feeling of transcendental ecstasy. And after about an hour of chanting, one devotee came to me and said, "Hello, Hare Krishna. Do you know anything about chanting Hare Krishna?" And I said, "No." I said, "The only thing I know is that I like it very much." And then, that was on a Monday, and on the Friday, they came back to Rochester, and I traveled with them down to Buffalo, New York, where their temple was. And I went into the temple on a Friday night for the first time, and I never left the temple. I just walked in the door one time, and 40 years later, I'm still here. And the next day, we went on Harinam in downtown Buffalo, New York. And there must have been about 50 devotees. We were on the street, and we were swaying back and forth, and we were chanting Hare Krishna, and I was feeling spiritual ecstasy. And I looked up, and across the street, there was one lady, you know, she looked like she could have been my mom's age, and she was staring, and her eyes were very, very big. And she came across the street, and she walked directly up to me, and she looked at me, and she said, "Son, are you on narcotics?" And I said, "No, ma'am, I'm not." And she said, "It's a shame, because you look like you're in so much joy. I was going to ask you to give me some of the pills that you must have been taking to get this way." And I told her, "Madam, I'm not taking pills." I said, "I'm only chanting the Hare Krishna mantra." And I gave her a mantra card, and I said, "If you'll chant this mantra, your life will be full of joy as well." And ever since the first Harinam that I participated in, well, when I should say, after I was in the temple for a few days, and devotees started telling me about Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda, when we would go on Harinam from that day until today, I've always had this meditation when I'm out on the street, when I have the mridanga, we're playing, we're just, you know, slowly walking down the street and dancing. I open my eyes and I look into the sky, and I'm always hoping that great hope that through this chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one day Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda will just appear before us all in Harinam and give us the blessings of their lotus feet and take us back to their eternal devotional service. So it's very important. I'd like to encourage everyone to chant your rounds very carefully and to always spread the holy names by going and performing Harinam Sankirtan. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.